Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues. I'm happy to welcome you at this summit. It's great to see so many people. Second of all, it's good to be the first presenter. It means that taxes do play an important role, and they deserve a lot of attention. A lot of times when people create business plans and do feasibility studies, they focus on lots of things besides taxes. Of course, tax benefits are of great interest because this is about the money that is available to the company for operations. So in my today's presentation, I will focus on tax benefits for gold miners. I am a partner at KPMG in the tax department. We deal with tax issues on everyday basis. There is not enough information available on tax benefits. There are several different sources of such information. However, it's not easy to bring all that information together. And investors have many questions regarding tax benefits. Today, I'm going to give you an overview of things that have to be taken into consideration when development projects are put together. It's important to know what tax benefits a company can enjoy. On average, this is the situation. Over the last few years, the government has been making some significant steps to give incentives to several industries. We have several new notions that have been added to Russian laws, which is a part of stimulus program. This has been happening in the last few years. Regional investment projects, advanced development territories, special investment projects, special economic zones. Well, special economic zones have been around for a long time. However, they were the only vehicle available to people for a long time. And of course, regional tax benefits. Look at the content, what companies pay attention to. There are two big things. One is benefits on tax on profits, and the second one category is the tax benefits associated with the extraction of mineral resources. In this context, regional investment projects and advanced development territories offer quite a lot. Also, companies are able to get profit tax benefits. Those things are determined by regional acts. In several law mining regions, they have also added local property tax benefits. For the territories of advanced development, there are other benefits which I'm also going to cover. Out of the pool of benefits that support investment projects, I am going to focus on two regional investment projects and advanced development territories, because that's where we see most benefits associated with mineral resources extraction tax. Those things are very popular with mining companies these days. The first thing that I'm going to cover is regional investment projects. What is a regional investment project? Who qualify for this? This is a form of interaction with local authorities where an investor commits to making an investment in a certain amount. In return, the government would provide certain benefits. Last year, in May, we have seen changes in the tax code regarding companies that have been registered in 15 Russian regions. Most of them are in Siberia and in the Far East. To become eligible for this, companies do not have to go through long formalities. They would need to be added to a register of projects. Tax benefits can be obtained after a company makes a notification of its eligibility for such benefits. There is another important new thing. This regime has been applied to all of Russia. Before, such terms have only been available to companies that have been incorporated in those Siberian and eastern regions. Today, companies that have been incorporated anywhere in Russia can apply for such benefits. But then again, they have to be added to the list of regional investment project participants. There are some industry limitations. Such projects should not be in the domain of oil production, but for you this is not a constraint. There is also a limit in the way of capital investment. 50 million rubles have to be invested over 3 years' time, or 500 million rubles over 5 years. The amount is not overly high. On the profit tax exemption, an exemption can be obtained for the period up to 10 years. There will be zero taxes paid to the federal budget. As of the regional budget, that would be determined by the local government. There is a general framework clause that says that a regional budget can offer a 10% discount, and then at least 10% in the next 5 years. However, that would be determined by a specific region. As of the MAT tax benefits, the companies that have been incorporated in Siberia or in the Far East, they can get a discount rate which is progressive. In each tax period, that rate would grow from 0 to 1. So that benefit is available for a period up to 10 years. There's also property tax benefits that are determined by regional governments. Look at the regions that have been offering such benefits through their local laws. Not all regions have joined this initiative. Kamchatka, Amur region, and a few others have such benefits. There are several projects in gold mining. There are companies that have applied for those benefits. They have become parts of this deal, and they were added to a list of investment projects. These are just a few examples. There are many more. Some of them may be gold mining projects that have been added to this list lately. As you can see, there are several companies from your industry that are doing this. Now, another model, the so-called advanced development territories. The previous model that is regional investment projects, they are project-specific. They are not linked to a location, to a venue in a specific region. A company has to be registered in one of the 15 regions. The second model, advanced development territory, is based on a geographic principle. A project has to be located in a specific area. In this chart, you see several examples of such territories. This again is far from the full list of territories. The tax benefits for such territory residents are very significant. They are much bigger than what people can get within a regional investment project model. I had this chart that offers a comparison of benefits. I can tell you that this advanced development territory deal offers the most. There's a good exemption of property tax. There are some social tax payment benefits. There are lower rate of payments to the pension fund. There are several other benefits of non-tax nature. There are several procedures that have been simplified in such territories. For most of those areas that have already been created in the eastern part of the country, the entry ticket is only 500,000 rubles. But then again, let me state that this is a model that is based on permission. A company has to be a resident in a specific territory. It has to have its operations solely in this area, and it has to have a contract with the managing company or organization of this territory. Let me give you a few examples. I can name a number of companies that operate in such areas. There are two gold mining projects in this list. There are several other mineral resources extraction based projects which have been registered as residents in such territories. Mining is only one industry that can enjoy benefits in such areas. In general, such advanced development territories have not seen as many mining companies joining them as in the regional investment project arrangement. It probably has to do with a necessary link to a specific territory. These are the kinds of considerations that people have to take into account when they apply for this model. In conclusion, let me draw your attention to a few practical things. I have given you quite a bit of good news about various benefits. I told you how organizations can save on taxes. Of course, there are hidden threats here and there. There are various conditions that companies have to meet. There are documents that have to be filed. There are extra things that organizations would have to do, like signing a contract with a managing company in an advanced development territory. Everything has to be filed and structured properly. Companies have to understand the liabilities which they assume and the consequences of non-compliance. So everybody has to understand the structure and composition of government support measures. Then organizations would have to act appropriately to match the proposed models. We have strengths and benefits analysis for all such arrangements, and every organization has to focus on proper paperwork, on proper applications, and then in later periods, such organizations have to monitor all changes in legislation that has been very agile recently, and there's a lot of changes that take place. I encourage everybody to be very focused on planning. When you design a project, you have to be clear about the tax model that you want to be a part of, and based on that, you should structure your project. And then again, track all the changes in laws. Laws are changing in a very dynamic way. A lot of new acts get passed, and for investment projects,